From nets to spikes to full-on barriers that'll crush vehicles and more. Join me as I show you some police and military inventions that will stop any vehicle. 9. Grappler Police Bumper. Without a doubt, one of the most dangerous aspects of police work is the notion of a high-speed chase. Things can get out of hand quickly, and if you aren't able to stop a car in the early parts of the chase, the ability to prevent damage and casualties goes down with every passing moment. Enter the Grappler Police Bumper. This device can be stored quite easily on the front side of the police car chasing the fleeing suspect. And then, with the push of the button, it can deploy. Once it's unwound, all the officer has to do is get close enough to go and wrap a series of threads around the back wheel. They'll wrap around the wheel in a loop, and then the police car can slam on their brakes in order to slow down and eventually stop the vehicle. The method causes very little damage to the suspect car, ensuring no sudden stops or flips, thus ending the chase safely, which is what both police and military want every time. A simple and safe ending to a dangerous situation. Number 8. Net Barrier. One of the biggest asks for police and military when trying to use a gadget to stop a vehicle is not just quick deployment, but the ability to hide it in plain sight. The net barrier is one such device that does that and more. It can be installed within 2 nearby stone structures that no one would think twice about driving through. But when a situation arises where the net is needed, it'll literally rise out of the ground and ensure that the vehicle is caught. You might not think that a net would stop a car in this fashion, but that's not true. In fact, it'll even stop a semi and can literally bounce cars back because of how it absorbs and redirects energy. It can be deployed in just 2 seconds, ensuring a quick resolution to a car problem. Number 7. Mobile Spike.
Meyer with Pursuit Management, and this is the mobile spike. Now let's take a look at how easy it is to use.
There are many ways for these car chases to end quickly and efficiently, and one of the best ways is through a spike strip. Mobile Spike is a great example of such a device. The device is attached to the front of the police car, and then the car will get next to the suspects and with a push of a button, deploys. The spikes take chunks out of the tire, ensuring it deflates in under a minute while avoiding a blowout. Not only does it work, it's a very visual device that actually works in the police's favor, as they'll be able to line up the shot and make sure it takes out the tire first go around. Number 6. Retractable Spike Strips. There are various kinds of spikes to deal with cars, and many of them are situational in their use. Mobile Spike only works if the officer is able to drive up to the vehicle and deploy it, but sometimes that's not an option, and thus police need a spike strip that will allow them to deploy it quickly, effectively, and not affect other cars. Thus, they made retractable spike strips. These ones are stored in a box and are activated by remote control. What will happen is the officer will place it by the side of the road and get out of sight. Then, when the runaway vehicle approaches, they'll press a button, launch the spikes, and nail the car before they can react. That's not the end of the action, though. After the spikes hit, they instantly fly backwards back towards the box. That way, the incoming police vehicle won't have to worry about hitting them. Simple, effective, useful, and safe for the police to use. Number 5. Gunabo Costa Wedge Barrier.
That need that little bit of extra security, this barrier can put a stop to all vehicles at all sizes.
The Gunabo Costa Wedge Barrier is a more advanced version of a road spike, mainly because it's a singular spike that is large, wide, and able to take down vehicles of virtually any size. As you can see, the reason that this wedge barrier is so strong is not just because of its material construction, but in how it's raised and put at an angle. A wedge presents a harder object to run over and is able to do more damage to the fleeing vehicle in question. Thus, it stops the vehicle in its tracks and can even destroy cars if they're going at the right speeds. Number 4. X-Net.
X-Net puts a stop to that. And instead of creating a much more dangerous situation,
the X-Net is a device that uses a net instead of spikes in order to stop a car. It's one that is deployed ahead of the oncoming runaway car. Furthermore, it's one that can wrap up the entire wheel frame, and not just one tire. With that much friction being caused as the net is constricting the tires, it's impossible to keep going forward. Plus, because of the wide base of the net, it's almost impossible to avoid, and thus the police will know that they get their man. Something I'm sure law enforcement will appreciate. Number 3. Safe Stop.
The Safe Stop system is designed to put a stop to any engine, all with the use of contactless RF.
The Safe Stop is a very different way of ending a high-speed conflict, mainly because it doesn't take out the car. It instead takes out the engine. It's a device that uses RF waves to basically hack into a car's engine and force it to turn off. When it does, the car, bike, and even boat will slow down so that the police can get to them before they realize what's really going on. This is perfect for traffic stops, chases, and more. And because it's basically a switch flip, there's no chance of the car wiping out, hitting other people, or flipping. If more devices like this were to be created, even more chases no doubt would be stopped before they even start. Number 2. Pro Spike.
Smart, sleek, and easy to use, the Pro Spike knows exactly how to stop any car coming its way.
The Pro Spike is used for various borders and police checkpoints, and it can be deployed at the simple press of a button. What's more, it can be controlled to have a wide range or a narrow one. Once the car drives over the spikes will puncture the car and quickly deflate it, without causing massive damage to the tire itself. It's stated that once punctured, the cars only last about another 200 meters. When you can end a chase really quickly after deploying an item, that shows you it works. Number 1. Arrest Net.
Can get a little crazy, and it's better to just de-escalate the situation rather than adding to it.
Arrest Net, as it is known, is a quick and easy to deploy way of stopping vehicles of any size. It can be deployed by hand or via a foot-activated button, and when a vehicle of any size goes over it, the front 2 wheels will get wrapped up in a net, while the back 2 tires will be hit with spikes that'll deflate them very quickly. The 1-2 punch of the arrest net works well no matter the size of the vehicle that's going over it. If they get wrapped up in the net and spikes, they won't be going anywhere anytime soon. There you go. What did you think of these unique inventions that were designed to stop all vehicles? Which ones do you think are the most effective? Which ones could use more finesse? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on the channel.